Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we've got lots to talk about. In fact, we've got 4 things to cover. I'm going to give you my thoughts on Luton beating Southend 2-0 away from home in our pre-season friendly. I'm also going to give you my thoughts on our latest new signing in Gideon Kodua from West Ham on loan. I'm also going to give you my thoughts on Walton leaving the football club to join Preston in the Championship. And then the last bit of the video, which I think is the most exciting bit of the video, is about Charlie Kelman. Because apparently it's been reported that Luton have put in a bid in for the QPR striker. So those are the 4 things which we are going to cover in today's video. Can we smash the like button on this video as well? Let me know your thoughts and feelings about everything which we talk about in today's video. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I make Luton and EFL content. Just want to say as well, I am doing this all in one take because I've just came home from the Southend game. It's literally midnight as I'm recording this video and I don't really want to be staying up until early hours in the morning editing. So I'm doing this in one take. Please, allow me if I do make any mistakes or pronounce certain things incorrectly. So let's start off with the Southend game. So we beat them 2-0. I have to be honest, out of all the games so far in pre-season, in terms of performance from us, I don't think it was the greatest. I think the game definitely got interrupted quite a bit through the injuries to our defenders. Ted Menji had an ankle injury according to Matt Bloomfield. Also, Anderson managed to get a finger in the eye. So he had to come off, and then Joe Johnson in the second half had a hamstring injury. So very interrupted game. I think Southend definitely started the game a lot better than what Luton did. They did show a physical presence, but once we managed to get ourselves into the game, we did show our quality, and then we did go 1-0 up. Richards puts in a really good ball over the top of the Southend defence to Alfie Doughty, who then heads the ball. It hits the crossbar, and then pretty much Woodrow from 2 yards out, you cannot miss, taps it home to put us 1-0 up. We should have actually gone in at half-time 2-0 up, in my opinion. Woodrow does a fantastic through ball in behind to Zach Nelson, who has a one-on-one chance. He should ideally make it 2, but good save by the Southend United goalkeeper. But overall, I felt anything attacking-wise, it was going through Zach Nelson. He was the one breaking through the lines. He was the one, taking a bit of risk with his dribbling ability, causing Southend all sorts of problems. You could definitely see that, Zach Nelson at least is ready for Football League. You can clearly see that from the game. He was levels above everyone on that pitch. But what I did notice in that first half is I don't think Walsh and Clark work as a midfield partnership. I think Saville has to play, and you notice that in the second half. Just what he just does simple things right. I think, in recovering the ball properly, in looking after it, in actually helping the transition from defence to midfield to the attack. I think he does it extremely well. I think a lot of stuff he does actually sometimes goes a little bit unnoticed. He gets into the right positions. I think he's a guaranteed starter. The question will always be who partners up next to him, in my opinion. Will it be Clark? Will it be Walsh? Will it be Baptiste? We'll soon find out in the next upcoming weeks. But Saville, again, another good performance from him. Our second goal comes from Ali down on the left-hand side, causing the right back off Southend lots of problems. He beats him with pace, puts in a really good ball into the box, and there's Nordas at the back, stick, really good finish to make it 2-0. Not too many chances for us in the second half. I have to be honest, it wasn't the greatest of performances. I thought we were a little bit disorganised. Yes, the referee kept stopping the game, but I think we needed to do a bit better at times. But I guess with the players getting injured and lots of substitutions, the flow of the game, we just couldn't get there. But what you did see was quality was definitely on show at times, and also we were fit, which is the main thing. And I'm not going to get too worked up on it. It's pre-season. If we did perform like that against AFC Wimbledon and didn't get a result from it, then of course I would, complain a bit more. But overall, it's a win. It's a clean sheet as well. In terms of Keeley and his performance, I thought he'd done quite well. You definitely saw his passing ability in the games. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work, but you could definitely see the quality there. He made a couple of really good saves in the second half to make sure he got that clean sheet. So yeah, I really liked his performance against Southend. And yeah, he's our future number one goalkeeper. Moving on to our latest signing, who actually did feature in the second half against Southend. Gideon Kodua, on loan from West Ham, who can play as a right winger, can play as a striker, can play as a wing back, and also can play as a number 10. We have an option to sign him on a permanent deal if we want to activate that clause or not. So it's a good opportunity for Kodua to, progress this season in League One. He has spent a lot of time under Matt Bloomfield. In fact, this is the third time Matt Bloomfield has signed him, so Matt Bloomfield clearly rates him. And also, I mentioned online when Luton announced the signing, I mentioned how Matt Bloomfield's PowerPoint presentations clearly work, because Kodua had a couple of other clubs interested in him, but he chose us. He chose to work under Matt Bloomfield again. So it definitely shows me that Matt Bloomfield, he can persuade players to come and join us. I don't know too much about him. For Wickham last season, he was more of an impact player. He would come off the bench and, try and cause problems. He might do that with us. With Isaiah Jones being out for a couple of months with a back injury, we need some more cover in that wing-back spot. And as Kodua has played there previously for Wickham, I think that's what's going to happen in the early stages of the season. And then if we want to do some tactical changes in certain games, whether we want to play with wide players, then Kodua ticks a lot of those boxes. So it's a good player to have in terms of squad depth, but I don't see him starting every single week. In fact, I do see Walters being the starting right back at the first couple of games at the very least. But I do think we will see him at some point. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with the signing. In terms of, his age, he's 20 years old, so he's going to be fresh, he's going to make some mistakes, but he's got a point to prove as well, because, West Ham clearly don't rate him anymore because they're allowing him to go out on loan, and also there is an option to buy him. So he needs to find himself again. He needs to go to a club where, he can feel at home and then perform week in, week out and get back to the very top if that's where he wants to go next. And I'm sure every footballer wants to do that. So, look, overall, I'm happy with the signing. I've been told as well he was club captain at West Ham in their youth team, and he done quite well with the youth team at West Ham. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in actual men's football rather than at youth level. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what he can particularly do in the future. The third bit of news which we're going to talk about in the video is about Walton leaving to join Preston in the Championship. Now, this move, I don't get it personally, because the reason why we're selling Walton is because he's not going to play regular first team football with us. He's not going to be number one keeper. And that's what I thought he wanted. I thought he wanted to be number one keeper at a club. He ain't going to get that at Preston. He ain't getting in front of Preston's number one keeper. They've just signed him recently. It's Daniel Iverson, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Former Leicester keeper. He's actually played for Preston before in a previous loan spell, and he was amazing during that loan spell. So he's going to be the number one keeper for Preston. Walton's going to be number two for them. So he ain't actually going to be playing any football, So he's not going to play regular football for Luton, and he's not going to play regular football for Preston. So I don't really think this move actually makes sense in terms of a playing perspective. But what this move does make sense in is actually closer to where Walton's from, actually. He's from up north, so it's a lot closer to home. So I guess that's why this move makes a little bit more sense maybe on a personal level rather than on a playing level. But it's a shame because we never really got to see him what he can do in a Luton shirt. I actually thought we didn't really need to sign a goalkeeper, but we did. I thought Walton and Shea could have at least had the season in League One and to prove themselves. But we've made a different decision. I think it's the correct decision in terms of Josh Keeley signing for the football club. And also, look, Rob Edwards has, coached him. Matt Bloomfield has coached him, and I think Nathan Jones was the one to sign him, and all three managers never played him. So I think that tells us a lot, I think. So maybe he wasn't quite at the level which we actually wanted for him. But look, I wish him all the best. We got some money back for the deal as well. So it's undisclosed. I don't know how much Preston would have played. I can't imagine it was a lot because he had 12 months left on his deal. So yeah, I think the move made sense. James Shea will be the number 2 goalkeeper. And if we need a third, it could be a young up-and-coming academy goalkeeper. So now we talk about the most exciting part of the video, which for me is that Luton have reported putting a bid in for Charlie Kelman, who plays for QPR. He's a 23-year-old striker. We are desperately in need for a striker, in my opinion. When watching the game against Southend, in fact, watching every game in pre-season, I just think we're lacking a striker that can run in behind, that has a consistent goal threat, who we're trying to look for Nahki Wells, but a little bit younger, because Nahki Wells doesn't have the legs anymore. I think I've seen that already in pre-season. And that's no disrespect to him, because his experience will get him out of trouble at times, and his smart head, his intelligence will sort him out. But he doesn't have the legs. He can't run in behind as quick as he used to compared to 10 years ago. Whereas when you've got someone like Charlie Kelman, who's 23 years old, he can do that. Very good finisher as well. He scored over 25 goals for Leyton Orient last season in League One. You're getting a top striker. It was a breakout season for Charlie Kelman last year. He also has the same birthday as me. So already he's a top player, because everyone who shares a birthday with me are great players. So for me, I'm all over this. Luton, get this done. We are in need for a striker. I just think without Ali, we just lack that attacking threat. And I think having someone like Charlie Kelman in, who provides something a little bit different compared to the likes of Woodrow, Nordas, Brown, Elijah Adebayo, Nahki Wells, there's difference there, and I think that's really going to be important. I think we're just a striker away. If we sign Charlie Kelman, I can see him scoring 20 goals. I just can't see the other strikers which we've got scoring 20 goals. Do I think Nahki Wells can hit double figures in League One? Yeah. Do I think Nordas can? Yeah. But I'm talking getting close to 20, and I don't see any of our strikers being able to do that apart from Ali, because of what Ali brings with his individual skills. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know how much money Luton have put in for Charlie Kelman. I don't even want to predict, because it could be a couple of million. It might be even less. I'm not too sure how much QPR want. But I would love Luton to hopefully bring him to the football club. We need a striker. We've got, a week and a half to try and do it. Fingers crossed we do it very, very soon. Just before we play against AFC Wimbledon. That would be really good. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the 4 major things I wanted to cover in today's video. You're watching this video, the video gets uploaded 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. I am uploading a video at 6:30 in the evening, and it's me talking to a Wycombe fan, and I'm getting the insight about Matt Bloomfield. What was Matt Bloomfield's Wycombe Wanderers team like? And it's a really long video. It's about over 50 minutes long. It's a different type of video than what I'm used to making. So I hope you actually enjoy it. I ask the questions rather than me answering the questions. And yeah, we just get some really good insight about what Matt Bloomfield was like at Wycombe, whether it was tactics, relationship with players. We talk about Richard Kone, and then we also talk about this upcoming season as well. So please go and check out that video when it comes out at 6:30 in the evening. Don't forget to smash the like button on today's video. Drop a comment on your feelings as well about anything I've spoken about in today's video. If you're new, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the evening video later today. Thank you for watching.